Hello and welcome to our first digital drop-in. Thank you for coming along. So I just want to introduce ourselves. My name is April Hatcher. I'm the Engagement Manager for Broxton Borough Council Housing.
I'm Kieran Dawson, the Housing Services and Strategy Manager at Broxton Borough Council.
And I'm Raul D'Souza, the Engagement Coordinator at Broxton Borough Council.
Cool. So I'm just going to get up the window with my slides on so we can start. Can you see that? Yeah. Fab. So it's our first one. So bear with us if we're a bit wobbly or a bit up and ahhing, and we'll go from there. The first one is all about housing engagement. Start off and see how you guys can get involved. Just a few webinar rules. So we do have the microphones and videos muted unless we allow, just for privacy and smooth direction. So if you can use the chat respectfully, avoid spamming or off-topic comments. Stay on topic, so focus on council housing. We'll hopefully do a follow-up so we can send out this video through a link, or if there's any materials that you're interested in, we can share those after the session. We do a no disruptive behaviour and be respectful and constructive. Respect privacy, do not record, screenshot or share content without permission. These sessions are recorded so we can, as we said earlier, share that information after. And protect your privacy. Please do not share personal information. Please ask questions in the chat, but try and keep them more generalized so you're not sharing names or specific locations of where you live. Just a little bit of a code of conduct. We're committed to creating a safe and respectful space for all our participants. By joining this webinar, you agree to treat everyone with respect, be courteous and constructive in your interactions. Please avoid hate speech or discriminatory language. Any form of racism, sexism, homophobia, or any other discriminatory behaviour will result in immediate removal. Respect privacy. Do not share personal information about others without consent. Engage in good faith. We welcome diverse perspectives, but disruptive or intentionally proactive behaviour will provocative behaviour will not be acceptable. Report concerns if you witness or experience inappropriate behaviour. Please notify a moderator privately. I just realised that behaviour is in the American version, so apologies for that one. So we'll move on to what this is. So why are we doing this and what we'll be covering today? So why we're hosting digital drop-ins, what customer engagement looks like, information share, so housing news and updating our data, what topics you'd like to cover next time, and we'll have a Q&A at the end, so feel free to jot down your questions as we go, or please put them in the chat and Raul will get them collaborated and we can get them shared. So why are we doing this? Spin over to my page. These digital drop-ins are all about accessibility. We know it's not always easy to come to the council offices, whether it's due to mobility, work, childcare or transport. So by going digital, you can join home, work or on the go. You don't need to travel, take time off, and you can still have your voice heard and stay informed. We want to make it like as easy as possible for you to engage with us, because we're here to listen to you and hopefully help change our housing services. Do you want, is there anything you want to add?
No.
No? So what engagement look like? Oh dear, that is awful. Grammar. What does engagement look like? Apologies, there is a few grammar errors from me on that one. So let's take a deeper look at tenant, leaseholder and shared ownership engagement really means, and how Broxton Council working to make meaningful, inclusive and accessible for everyone. So from here out, I'm going to be calling tenants, leaseholders, shared owners, customers, just because we work with lots of different people, and just by calling them customers, we're able to include everyone. So engagement isn't about surveys or meetings. It's about creating opportunities for customers to shape services they use, share their experiences, and influence decisions that affect their homes and their communities. So we have three kind of umbrellas that we use. So there's Take a Seat, Go Digital, and In the Community, formerly known as On the Move. So we thought it was a bit more of a title that says what it does. So Take a Seat. So Take a Seat is more where we invite customers to come to the council offices to attend a different selection of groups and panels to look at in-depth areas of housing services. So we have firstly the Housing Influence panel, which is bi-monthly, but hopefully will be monthly within the future, as we've got lots of topics to go through. This is at the council offices, or normally on a Wednesday morning from 10 till 12, and it has an agenda. So they focus on different topics, from looking at damp and mold policies. We've got the Decent Home Standards consultation coming up. Currently we've done a mystery shopping workshop. So we're hoping for our team to call in to housing services and do a bit of mystery shopping. Are they doing the security questions? Are they polite? Do they know their knowledge, or are they signposting you to the right people? So that's something that you might be interested. And we received some funding from the Efficiency East Midlands Limited. So they're currently deciding what kind of engagement project they want to work on. We do have, hopefully not all the minutes at the moment, but we do have a lot of the minutes, agendas and documents on our website. If Raoul can put a link in the chat, that would be great. So you can see what we have been working on in the past. And if you want to come along, our next meeting is Wednesday, the 10th of September at 10 a.m. in the council offices. So just put a message in the chat or email housingengagement@broxtowe.gov.uk and come along.
And just to add to that, we're also looking at putting on some meetings up in the north of the borough. So Eastwood, Brinsley, Kimberley, Nuttall, for those tenants that live in that area, because obviously it's quite a trek to come down to Beeston all the time. So we're going to trial holding some meetings in the north, so to try and include everyone.
Yeah, hopefully we can. We're still trying to find locations, so if you know anywhere, that'd be great for these kind of meetings. Drop us a message. So from Housing Influence panel, we have the complaints panel, which Raoul oversees, and this looks at how the complaints we've got are handled, and we share, well, the tenants and customers share recommendations and feedback to improve the complaint service. It's been going for a year now and working really well. We've had some good recommendations of looking at tone and language when sending out the report. Also wanting to see a bit more detail of that complainant. So if they are vulnerable, if there's any support needs and any issues there. Is there anything you want to add in there, Raoul?
Just that we try and look at different service areas of complaints each meeting, and then we can invite the relevant head of that department who will have responded to that complaint. So that's quite useful because it makes it a bit more focused and means they can directly hear parents' perspective on how they would like to have been maybe responded to, or other remedies that could have been offered, or even just understanding the kind of context of what it's like when the information comes to us and to that kind of format. So that can be quite useful.
So our last meeting was on Wednesday 23rd, and the next meeting is 22nd of October, Wednesday the 22nd of October at 10 a.m. We keep it at 10, so it's nice and simple and everyone knows the times. We also have recruited a new complaints officer, which is very exciting, who will focus on the stage 1 complaints. His name's Jay, and we hope to get him involved with the panel and get him to collaborate, and hopefully in the future the panel can look at some live complaints. We need to figure out how that works with privacy and tenants coming in to look at those. Is there anything else you want to share about the new officer role.
No, I think you've covered everything. Thank you.
And then scrutiny. So scrutiny is basically a fancy word for service review. So looking at a service in more detail. We've done our first one since COVID, so it's been a while. And it was a task and finish group that looks at scrutinizes voids, the repairs side. So void it basically means an empty property that's going through the repairs process to then be relet to hopefully someone on our home choice application waiting list. It's taken about 6 months because it's been our first one, so we needed to make sure that we were looking in depth, we were not making too many mistakes, but if do understanding why we've been out and visited properties that have gone through this repairs. So right at the beginning when the tenant has left, in the middle of the repairs process. So what's been as like paneling work been done, painting, and then near the end. So the customers have really enjoyed getting involved in that. I'm currently writing the report at the moment, and the recommendations include like looking at having service inspectors, so they're volunteers, customers, tenants, leaseholders that will randomly spot check the properties, making sure we are going by our lettable standard, that which was also updated by the scrutiny panel, showing providing a document of locations, so of the stopcock and things like that. So if you have a water leak, you're able to turn them off and then contact us to do some further work. And then consider paneling within bathrooms, which is quite interesting because it will save money and it's also quite easy to clean. This report is our recommendations will go to the senior housing managers here and her team, and overview and scrutiny committee. So hopefully once this one's done, we can then do a 6-month review and see if any of the recommendations have been put in place. If so, how are they working? And if not, why not? What's the reason behind this? And then we're in the September housing influence panel. So our main panel, the group will decide their next scrutiny topic. So if you are interested, then again, come message us, email us, call us, and we'd love you to get involved. Anything else you want to add to that bit? No? All good. That was a lot. So take a second, have a drink, and we go on. So go digital. So you might not want to come to us. You might only have a few minutes of your time, and those 2 minutes we'd love for you to like share with us. So we have online surveys. They're a quick and easy way to share your views. We have hopefully more virtual meetings and webinars. So we've got this one now, and we're potentially looking at doing some evening virtual meetings, which will be great. We've got our housing news, which is our monthly bulletin. So it just gives you all the updated information on what's going on in housing, anything new that's happening, and any community events. We have emails and newsletters. So again, the housing news, but you've also got the other emails that you might be interested in signing up to on Email Me. Social media, so our normal corporate comms, Broxton Borough Council have I'll put Go Roop. Can you see it? Apologies. I think next time I need to spot check my spelling. So yeah, social media, we've got Facebook, Twitter, and X now, sorry, to share information on housing. And then we have our housing Facebook group. Go search for that. So that's a private Facebook group just for our customers, where we can ask questions, polls, share some of the bits that they're doing in the influence panel, and we maybe need a little bit more feedback, updates that are just specific to our tenants and leaseholders and shared owners. So it's a sign up. You just need to pop in a bit of information so we may know it's you. So your postcode, name and your address, and then we can just check it's the person that's connected to the tenancy. Anything else on that, do you think?
No.
No?
Everything there.
Flying in quite quickly. So finally, we have in the community, it's our mobile engagement program. This is bringing engagement directly to your neighborhood. We've got pop-up stalls. We have our big-ish, our 3-meter gazebo that we can go out and do activities and get people involved that way. But it's trying to get us out to you because sometimes you can't always come to us. So some of the things we do is neighborhood champions. So these are our connectors, I guess, in between council and our customers. They're the people who you might want to go to if you've got a question about, oh, I'm struggling to pay my rent, but I'm not sure who to go to. They could advise about financial inclusion, or you found some fly tipping and again you're not sure who to go to, you could go to your neighborhood champion and they go, oh, you need to report it this way. So anyone can be a neighborhood champion. You just need to be a tenant or leaseholder, and it's a great way to support your community. Rao, do you want to put a link in there about the location on the website so you can have a bit more detail? So for Housing Community Fund, this fund is for up to £1,000 and it looks at funding something within the community. It could be some planters, so you can have a veg garden. We've had some funding for upskilling, so training people to learn a new skill. There's lots of different ways that the funding can be used. It just needs to benefit a high volume of our customers, or if it's a training, be one of our customers. But if you are interested, again, we can share that information out. Neighbourhood inspections. Do you want to share a bit about neighbourhood inspections, Rao?
So the neighbourhood inspections are when the housing officers have a designated patch of the borough, which is kind of theirs, and they'll conduct inspections where they typically walk around a particular neighbourhood, a street where we have properties, and will check broadly if there's issues like maybe fly tipping, overgrown hedges, that kind of thing. But it's also meant to be an opportunity where they're out and about in the community and visible. So if people have issues, potentially that have already been reported, maybe through the traditional means, but aren't getting any response, or new issues, then they can speak to someone face to face and explain things personally, and then that can then be taken back and put through the appropriate channels. So we do them all around the borough, and just a list of our website. I can include a link in the chat to show when and where the housing officers are around there.
Also, do you want a bit about community events, because you've been out doing quite a lot of them at the moment?
So there's lots of events obviously going on in Broxtowe. So if the events are by the events team, so we have an events team in Broxtowe. So for example, you might know about the play days that go on at the moment, or Hemlock Happening that happens in June, or there's like Green Festival in September and things. So those kind of events, housing will often have a stall there and try and share a bit of information with people when they're out and about, probably with tenants, about the kind of things that housing is doing, and similar, if they have any issues, they can come and speak to us. Or we can meet people that aren't tenants who can kind of explain about how they might become, or they've independent living, lifeline, all those kind of services that we offer kind of quite a lot for things that housing covers that people might not initially realise. And then there'll also be other community events not organised by Broxtowe Council, but we'll go along to and attend. So in the past, we've gone to like the family hubs or citizen advice, or councillors are doing events, sometimes go along to those. So we try and be visible and approachable with the people in the community, essentially.
Thank you. Yeah, out and about quite a lot, aren't you? Then we have service inspectors. This is on our programme to do. So hopefully it'll be in the framework that we're drafting at the moment to get out and about. So as I mentioned earlier, with the void scrutiny, we're looking at getting some recruitment volunteers to inspect our void properties and see if they're up to scratch before we re-let them on Home Choice. Also, service inspectors could do block cleaning, so not do block cleaning, check block cleaning. So getting them a mop and a broom. So going to check that our blocks have been cleaned well and maybe give a grading system and how well they've been done. Next one is housing customer network. So it's on pause at the moment, but we have been out for about 2 years every month around the borough, popping up in different locations, community venues in the evening to share what we're up to and hear your thoughts and feedback. So it's normally from 5:30 till 7. We've popped up at the CAB in Eastwood. We've gone to some independent living schemes and also some community venues around as well. So we are looking to hopefully launch this again in potentially the winter time or next year, but this is the one things that me and Raoul are working on to do virtually. So for those who can't come out in the evening for whatever reason, you can just log in at home, maybe while you're cooking your dinner or chatting, looking after your child. You can just see what's happening virtually, and then maybe you could do a poll or two while being online. So what is it with O's and R's? It's housing dolphins. So I'll word with me later and think about this. So I'm just doing it to test that you're reading this webinar. That's the reason. So housing drop-ins. So this is kind of a face-to-face version. That's focused with the tenancy team. And hopefully repairs do come along to those as well. We've had one recently at Montrose Court, where people can just drop in and share if they've got any questions, any issues, any ideas. And again, it's just a way of us being out in the community and then people coming to talk to us, and then we can try and collaborate or try and solve the issues. Community groups. So we do work with community groups. One thing we'd love is to maybe help support tenants to create tenant groups to run social activities. We do have a lot of those within our independent living schemes, but some more in just not normal communities, general needs, that's the word, general needs communities to get together to become a tenant group and maybe run an activity or maybe do a knit and natter or anything that gets the community together. Pop-ups. So these, I don't know if you've seen I call it our little guy stand or ice cream stand. So we've got a little stand that has housing at the top, and we pop up for an hour at different areas of the borough. And again, just be on the street where we know like a lot of tenants, leaseholders, shed owners live, and they can come chat to us about different issues or questions. But if a resident needs to talk to us too, we can forward that information onto the right team.
Do we have a list of where we're going to be?
Uh,
Thank you.
Yeah, I think you can pop it in the chat of what ones are coming up. But again, sign up to Housing News through the email system, and that gives us all this information that you're seeing, but like in real time. So what's happening, what's happened, that kind of thing, not just words on a screen. So why engagement is important. So whether you prefer a quiet chat or a quick online survey or a pop-up event in your neighbourhood, we want to make sure your voice is heard, but not just heard. We want to hope if it's hopefully something we're doing wrong or a great idea, we want to be able to implement that into the service so we can make change for the better. So your feedback doesn't sit on the shelf, it helps shape repairs and maintenance, communication improvements, which I know is a massive thing that we do need to work on, but also share policy changes, service delivery. So engagement is a partnership. I wrote this down, and we're committed to making it work for you. Change. data, do you want to explain a bit more about this, or do you want me to?
Yeah, you can explain.
Yeah, so one of the most important things we do as a housing provider is to make sure the information we hold about our tenants, leaseholders, shed owners, customers is accurate and up to date and complete. It isn't just an admin exercise, it's about keeping people safe and delivering better services and meeting the national standards. So I've just got a bit from the regulator of social housing. So what the regulator of social housing expects under the consumer standards, a landlord must keep accurate records of tenant needs, property conditions, and service requests. Use this data to deliver safe and high quality homes. We need to know who's living in our homes to make sure we're delivering the best service, and be transparent and accountable in how services are being delivered. So the transparency, influence, and accountability standard specifically requires landlords to understand and respond to tenant needs. And that starts with having the right data. So it could be, you may have changed your name. That'd be great. Please share that with us. Do you have an email or changed an email? Please, again, share that with us. You might have not had an email when you first signed up to your tenancy, but you thought, oh, it'd be great to have emails, contacts. That's the way. New phone number, a health update, something, maybe you're neurodivergent and you just want to share that information if potentially you were going to a property and you need to know some of the timings when we're coming, so it just helps you understand when. Gender reassignment, and permission to discuss. This is quite a big one that would love for you to share with us if there is someone that you want to talk for you on your behalf. So maybe you have a daughter or a parent that you feel confident that can support. Well, how am I trying to explain this?
Yeah, if you need an advocate or someone who can speak on your behalf, like to discuss your rent account or to report repairs on your behalf, then obviously just let us know and we can note that on our system.
Yeah, that's it. So if we don't have that, my daughter can discuss for me on our system, we can only talk to you and you might not be able to. So please share that information with us.
I would also add to that as well, to let us know if you've got any language needs. So if you're receiving information from us and, you know, it would be better for you to receive it in your first language, if it's not English, then let us know and we can note that. And there are like translation services that we can use to make sure that we keep you updated, and you can understand what communications we're putting out as well. And over the next few months, you'll be contacted by an employee of the council just to go through some data gaps that we've got on our system. For example, if we haven't got your national insurance number, which we need, or your date of birth, for example. So just look out for them contacting you over the next few months. And obviously, if you have any queries about that, we'll send out some information about who you can contact to verify that they're part of the council, etc. So you know that you're not just giving it to anyone. And we will make sure we adhere to, obviously, the GDPR data protection regulations with regards to how we look after your data and store your data. And we've got a privacy notice on our website as well, which Raoul could put in the chat for you to have a look at if you wanted to have a look.
Yeah. Okay, so we also use this information to ask security questions when you call. So if you call us, we need to make sure you say who you're saying are, because we want to protect people in those properties. So we might ask for your name and your date of birth or your address or how much you pay rent, unfortunately, if we didn't have your date of birth. So it's important that we've got all your up-to-date details. And also a little bit from the Housing Ombudsman, who is our regulator for complaints. So if you do have a complaint and you're not happy with how we've done it, the Housing Ombudsman is there and you can go to them first if you don't want to go to us. So ideally, it'd be great for you to come to us first if you've got a complaint, but you might not feel heard. So please talk to them as well. That's what they're there for. Yeah. The Housing Ombudsman report has highlighted that poor data management is a key factor in many complaints.
This is generic, by the way.
Not just us, yeah. When landlords don't know their tenants' are or fail to keep records up to date, it leads to missed repairs, delayed responses, poor communication, and unsafe living conditions. In their Knowledge of Information report, the Ombudsman stressed that good data is essential for making informed decisions, tackling issues, and preventing service failures. So around that, they have a real world impact. We've seen national cases, unfortunately, the tragic death of Awa Bishop, that inaccurate or ignored tenant data can lead to devastating consequences. And these events have led to new laws such as AWAB's law, which is coming into force in October. Yeah, and which sets strict timelines for resolving hazards like damp and mold. So please, we want to know all your data to make sure we can keep you safe. So if we don't know your needs, we can't meet them, and if we don't know your situation, we can't protect your safety. And so what we're asking for again is make sure your contact details are correct. Let us know of any household changes. Tell us about any support needs such as mobility, language, health, and keep us updated how you prefer to communicate. Do you want just to be through letter, through email, through phone call? And we're text messages. So our focus is to try and contact how you would prefer to communicate. That's something we're working on. And how it helps you: when we have accurate data, we can respond faster to repairs and complaints and offer tailored support and services. Keep you informed about things that matter to you. So maybe if you have an email and you opt in to say yes, you want to know about what we're up to, we can share that information and ensure your voice is heard in decisions that affect your home. So watch out for the officer who's going to do some phone calls.
Yeah, and visits
out to you.
Yeah.
Next one. We've talked quite a lot. So share in the chat future topics, or maybe you just want to ring us or email us what you want to see within these drop-in sessions, or if they want to change, please let us know. This is our first one, so it's all about learning and hearing what you would like to see. A few ideas could be having the repairs service come in to talk about certain issues or upcoming projects, antisocial behaviour, rent and service charges, maybe a bit in the asset management team, so the decent home standards. There's a consultation happening at the moment which might be interesting for you to read. Housing allocations and lettings, so how that process works, and tenants' rights, responsibilities in that area. So there's lots of topics, so please let us know and we can get that team to come along and talk to. So it won't just be us, but get that team and manager from that area to come and share all that information. Yeah. So any questions? Sign up to our housing news to find out the answers, or contact us and we'll get back to you, because we don't have your details because we said share the privacy. Oh no, I did look at that. Did you laugh? Get a good double look. 0115 917 3935. Right, I'll put it in the chat, the right number, just in case those who can't see it on the screen can put it in. Or email us at housingengagement@broxtowe.gov.uk. Oh, still got 20 minutes, but thank you for your time, and hopefully
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.